everybody, welcome back. So in today's video, this girl on TikTok said this. Take a look.
Based off my personal experience, you either gonna have standards or you gonna have a man, but you ain't gonna have both.
She said everything, because at this point in time is either you have standards or you have a man. Okay, you pick, you decide. What do you want? Do you want a man? Then you have to tone it down. Okay, tone it down. That's the only way you can get a man. But then again, a lot of people had a lot to say about what she said. Like, do you agree with her? Do you not agree with her? Let me know in the comment section. This is what people had to say with regards to what she said. Okay, let's get into this video.
You either gonna have standards or you gonna have a man, but you ain't gonna have both.
When I was younger and I used to see people in my family or just people in general have these 20, 30, 40-year marriages, right? When I was younger, I used to be like, wow, I want something like that. Like, I want to be so in love with somebody that I'm with them for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and we die together. I used to think that what held marriages together for that long was true love. And of course, communication, understanding, sacrifice, all those things. Let me tell y'all what really holds marriages together. Women just putting up with shit. That's all it is. When you understand that all it takes to keep a man is for you to constantly be forgiving bullshit and constantly be like, oh, okay, I don't want to lose him, so I'm gonna forgive this, I'm gonna forgive that. That's all a long marriage is just the woman constantly putting up with shit. That's all it is. You not leaving him because he did this, and that's all a long-term marriage is. And that's why when these dumb men be in my comments talking about, you're going to be single forever, you're going to die alone, you're going to die with your cats, I'd be like, good for me. Good for me. If the alternative is having to put up with you, good for me. Like, keeping a man is not an achievement. Keeping a man low-key be sometimes a failure for a lot of y'all. I'm just saying it.
This is one of the saddest half-truths I have heard and seen in a very long time. And I call it a half-truth because for a lot of people, this is true. For a lot of people, the reason why their relationships are successful is because they're merely putting up with someone's mess, right? But there are many of us out here who are in happy relationships and happy marriages that are not just putting up with stuff. We're not just dealing with whatever our spouse hands us. And we're very fulfilled. It takes a lot of work, though. And that's the reality. It's not that people are just out here putting up with people's crap. It's that they don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work to find the right partner. They don't want to do the work to strengthen their relationship. They don't want to do the work to strengthen themselves. They don't want to do the work to challenge their partner to be the best versions of themselves. They don't want to do the work to challenge themselves to be the best version of themselves. They don't want to do the work. And so, yes, when you don't want to do the work, you are stuck in a situation where you're having to say, you know what? I forgive you. You know what? Sure. You know what? I'll let it slide. And that's your relationship. And that's okay. There's also a lot of people out there who say, you know what, I'm not putting up with anything and I'm out. And while that may work for some people, you're not giving the person the opportunity to learn what it is that you will and won't tolerate. You're not giving the person the opportunity to grow with you. And you don't have to. You don't. But for me, I'm always going to give my husband a chance to grow and to learn. And he's always given me the chance to grow and to learn. Have we hurt each other? Yes. Have my siblings and I hurt each other? Yes. Have my parents and I hurt each other? Yes. I've had some professors that have hurt my feelings. Are you kidding me? Like, that's the nature of being in a relationship. How many of you out there have brothers and sisters that have never pissed you off, that you've never had an argument or disagreement with? How many of you out there have parents that have never disappointed you? Like, disappointment is natural in a relationship. It's going to happen. But make that an opportunity to learn. Make that an opportunity to grow instead of just throwing in the towel and casting people aside. More importantly, learn how to grow yourself and then teach the people in your life how to grow with you. So that way you all can be better and you don't have to put up with anybody's crap.
You either gonna have standards or you gonna have a man. But you ain't gonna have both.
Let's cut the bullshit. What you call standards is ultimatums. And you're misleading a lot of young people with this idea that you should just wake up with your ultimatums and call them standards. And if people can't follow your standards, then there's something wrong with them. Listen, if you come to the table with hard and fast rules you call standards, which really are ultimatums, the only way that someone is going to follow those ultimatums is if you're providing something that person cannot live without. And if you're doing that, you don't really have someone who loves you, you have a captive. And the minute your captive finds a way to live without what you provide, that captive will be gone. So please stop, spreading this weird idea that a person can just wake up and say, I have standards, and if you're going to be with me, you must follow my standards. That's an ultimatum. Those aren't standards. The only way you're going to have a successful relationship with your friends, with people, in love, marriage, dating, whatever, is you give and you take. You may have your standards about how you feel about a certain thing, right? And if you meet someone who loves you or who brings something else desirable to the table, a reasonable person says, okay, this is how I feel about seafood, but I like this person, so I can compromise a bit on that. You know what I mean? Human interaction involves compromise. So don't deceive yourself and deceive these young, impressionable people that you have to have this rules and regulations and people must come and bow at your altar to be. No, you're human, you're flawed, no one's perfect. Chill the fuck out.
It's crazy because the women who know better get called bitter. How can you be bitter when there's nobody cheating on you, lying to you, manipulating you, deceiving you, harming you, breaking your heart? The bitter women are the women who are upset with us for calling a thing. I just got a comment on one of my stories. If you go and look at my stories, I'm talking about an experience that I had just last night. So earlier this year, I met a man. He wanted to get to know me. He told me he was single, but my intuition was saying he was lying. So I deaded all communication with him. Not even a week later, I saw confirmation that he was with someone, right? I just happened to be following a certain photography page and I saw a picture of her and him. And I was like, I sent it to him and I was like, you such a lying piece of shit. So of course he got mad and blocked me. But by then it was too late. So I had reposted it to my own Instagram and talked about it and commented on the picture. I was like, he's cheating on his woman. Ask me how I know. I've seen that man in multiple different places, at least 3 different places with 3 different women since then. And so last night I just so happened to decide to go out. I've been doing that a lot more lately. And when I went out, who did I see? Him and her. They've been together since at least February of 2022. I don't know if they were together before that, but that's the bit of evidence that I have as far as their relationship, right? She's still with him. She knows he cheats. I left a comment. One of her friends responded, told me that was his girlfriend, asked me for information. Me and her communicated. Me and the girl communicated. The girlfriend, not just the friend, me and the girlfriend communicated. She knows her nigga is cheating. She's staying with him. You know why? Because she is spineless and self-loathing. And how do I know this? I used to be her. I was in a relationship where I was cheated on and I stayed. Because I was spineless and self-loathing too. A woman who knows her true value and who loves herself does not tolerate this shit. And I know that now because that's where I am in my life. I stayed in the relationship. I was bitter and miserable and upset and unhappy. And I remember just waking up one day and saying, why are you doing this? I booked a ticket. I left the country. I packed up 3 suitcases with stuff I couldn't bear to leave, left everything else behind, and started my life over. And I traveled the world for a while before I decided what country I wanted to live in, right? I'm going to tell you right now, 1 thing's for sure, 2 things for certain. You either going to have standards, boundaries, and expectations, or you're going to have a man. Because the greater percentage of men are vile, evil, deceptive, manipulative, cheating pieces of you know what. You better learn how to love you and stop outsourcing that responsibility to people who are incapable of love. Men are incapable of love. They're incapable of love. Love is an active word. It's an action. It is an action. You do not cheat on people you love. You do not risk breaking the hearts of people you love. You do not risk fucking up the self-esteem of people you love. You do not risk fucking with the mental health of people you love. Let's call a thing a thing. And the women who stay are spineless and self-loathing. And most likely, because we all live in a patriarchal, woman-hating, woman-possessing, and controlling global society, she was trained, cultured, and socialized to be spineless and self-loathing. It takes a lot to unlearn that. It takes a lot of bravery and temerity to choose yourself. So the bitter women are the women who stayed with cheating, lying POSs. And they are mad at the rest of us. I just had someone leave a comment, like I said, on my story. Someone left a comment on my story, and she was asking me what's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with me. Something's finally right with me. I finally see the forest for the trees, and all I want is for the rest of you to do the same. You are spineless and self-loathing if you stay with a man who cheats on you, who lies to you, who gaslights you, who manipulates you. And some of this has to do with trauma. That is true, because traumatically harmed and broken people do not function like everybody else. And I know that too. But healing is not only possible, it is necessary. And through healing and growth, you will see changes in your life for the better. I have a much better life since I left my cheating, lying, gaslighting, manipulative, deceptive ex than I ever had with him. Than I ever would have had with him. He himself is broken. He got mommy issues, but we met when I was a child. I didn't know. I was 19 years old. What the hell did I know? So he was broken himself. He is now working on himself and realizing that, yeah, there's something wrong with me. It's something, I have mommy issues. I have arrested development. I have a lot of shit I went through as a kid myself that's causing me to have fucked up relationships with women. Listen to me good. No woman who knows her value and loves herself is going to tolerate that. That's the truth. Only a woman who does not love herself or know her value would stay in that situation. So self-loathing and spinelessness equals relationship. Because you either gonna have a man or you gonna have a standard. Opt out.
So now, keeping a man is no longer a flex. Like, walking around and saying I have a husband is no longer a flex, okay? Having a great guy is a flex. Parading long suffering like a badge of honor is not a flex, okay? The only flex is choosing yourself and keeping those standards high, regardless of what anybody has to say. You know what you want, you know what works for you, so do whatever makes you happy. That's all I'm going to say. What do you think about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye.